Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Arlington. We are a congregation that welcomes all people, people of all backgrounds, races, genders, sexual orientations, and abilities. At UUCA, we encourage people to come for community, find inspiration, and live with purpose together. My name is Burke Kapler, and I'm a member of the Board of Trustees and also its chair. Today is Sunday, December 18th, and whether this is your first time worshiping with us or this is your regular Sunday routine, we're glad you're here. In fact, not just glad, we're excited because today is our holiday pageant and we're welcoming our brothers and sisters from Kol Ami, including Rabbi Gila. Yes. This is a busy holiday season here at UUCA, so I actually just want to take a moment and remind you of a number of different celebrations occurring. You can find these in our emailed Connections newsletter, you can find them online on our church website, and you can find them on the back of your order of service. So if you want to just follow along. First, on Christmas Eve, we'll be having two services, one at 4 p.m. and one at 7 p.m. These are live and in person. And because of that, you should plan to arrive early because parking will be a challenge. But there will also be beautiful pre-service music, so please come to either of those services. Both will include our annual mitten tree, and the donations from that, the mittens, the hats, and the scarves, will go to the Rhonda Gilliam Clothing Bank. And then on Christmas Day, UUCA will be sending out a virtual service that you can enjoy from your home or wherever you happen to be. On New Year's Day, we'll do the same thing again. We'll send a virtual service, while there will be a small watch party here at the church at 10:15, led by Worship Associate Allison Carty. So if you'd like to join to officially welcome in the new year, that will be available. And wait, there's even more. So there's a couple of celebrations happening even today. So Moonfire is having their solstice celebration at 11:30 today, and then Kol Ami will be having their Hanukkah party at 5 p.m. today as well. And last but not least, we're doing a solstice service as well. That will be December 21st at 7 p.m. That will be on Zoom. There is so much going on. But before we get into that, let me finish with this. This is actually the last of these official board member welcomes for 2022, which means that this is the last time that I'll get to speak to you like this for this year. And I just wanted to say, from the Kapler family and from the UUCA family to you and yours, we wish you the joys and the blessings of the season. Whatever you celebrate and whoever you celebrate it with, we hope you have the happiest of holidays. Welcome to UUCA.
What a warm welcome, Burke, and what a joy to be together today in our one service for our pageant with many shepherds and angels in the wings. I want to invite you, before we truly begin our celebration, to turn and say hello to each other, especially if you didn't come in with the person near you. Good morning, good morning. I invite us to gather together again as Rabbi Gila joins me for our call to worship this morning. These words are adapted by a call to worship written by Gwen Matthews called "You Are the Holiday Miracle."
As December opens up before us, we welcome in the gift of reflection. We turn toward our holiday celebrations and search for common threads of meaning.
We begin with Yule, the winter solstice, and we are invited to explore duality, cycles, and seasons, and to witness the Holly King being overcome by the Oak King. Yule reminds us that we all partake in the miracle of renewal.
Hanukkah, the festival of lights, commemorates a time of miracles when the faith and determination of the Jewish people sustained them to fight for freedom, reclaim their holy temple, and keep the light of the menorah burning for 8 days.
Christmas, the celebration of Jesus' humble birth in a manger, offers us a chance to revisit the miracle of birth and the desire to find saviors to heal the scars of humanity. Here in our church, you are just as much a holiday miracle as the turning of the earth, as persistence and dedication to a faith, as the creation of each new life. We see the love you give to others, the space you create to hold one another's joys and sorrows, and the generosity and spirit you entrust to this community.
This community is one of miracle makers. You are the holiday miracle.
This morning, our candle of compassion is lit, hoping for an end to violence and hoping for the blessing of peace. We continue to acknowledge the people in Ukraine who are affected by the devastation of war. UUCA also persistently sends love to the LGBTQ+ community. It's our community's hope that one day the painful experiences of those who are harmed and abused will be completely eliminated. May we love ourselves. May we love each other. May we openly and freely love who we love. And lastly, I want to send you a spot of joy. New Zealand, a country that has already passed legislation banning automatic and assault weapons, is leading the way again. On Tuesday, they passed legislation phasing in a near total tobacco ban starting next year. This step will accelerate progress towards a smoke-free future, said their health minister, Aisha Viral. Thousands of people will live longer, healthier lives in New Zealand. Illnesses caused by smoking, cancer, heart attacks, strokes, amputations, all will be drastically cut because they have been willing to simply say no to tobacco. The number of people who are able to buy tobacco is going to shrink each year, and eventually it will be zero. New Zealand leads the way again. We share compassion with the world. Let it be so. And let's light our chalice this morning. We gather together as a community of memory and hope to celebrate life and its infinite possibilities for love. Please join me. We light this chalice as a symbol of the light within every human heart. May our individual sparks meet and merge, bringing both light and warmth to the world.
This Advent season, we've kindled candles for hope, peace, and joy. And joy's the pink one, just so you know. On this final Sunday of Advent, we light the candle for love. Please join me in singing the words found in the order of service, hymn 226, verse 4, People Look East.
As though you long have ceased to build, guard the nest that must be filled, even the hour when wings are frozen. God for the fledgling time has chosen. People look east and sing today.
Well, this is a special Sunday each year when we have our holiday pageant, usually telling in slightly different ways, year by year, the story of Christmas. This year, the day of our pageant, the Sunday of our pageant, also looks toward the first night of Hanukkah, which begins at sundown this evening. And it was, in fact, our director of Lifespan Faith Development, Leanne's idea that we might see if our siblings at Kol Ami, the very long-term nested congregation that meets here at UUCA, a Reconstructionist Jewish community, would like to join us to celebrate together in some way. And I am so excited that Rabbi Gila Langner said yes, she would come along and share with us some of their stories. And then what a joy that she brought with her musician, Jim North, who we'll be hearing from later, and actors. Obviously, I assume that they've been on Broadway, really, Rabbi Gila. Ed and Raina, who are, well, you will see, they're pretty great. And we have some pretty great folks of our own here at UUCA helping to tell this story, too. Gail Crawford and Mila and Carmen Freiberger, and in a cameo that brings it all home at the end, Brian Freiberger. And coming in for a star turn as Richard, we're so glad to have Callan Olant joining the crew to tell our story. Our story comes from a book called The Trees of the Dancing Goats by Patricia Polacco, which we have adapted slightly and interspersed with some other stories, as you'll see today. This year, with the help of our friends, we are telling more than one story and noticing how our stories connect and how they're different, how both of them hold wonder beyond our everyday understanding, and how human connection and friendship are at the heart of our celebrations. And for that, we give thanks. I invite you now to start us off by joining and singing hymn number 1010 with Devin as our song leader. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit and sing together. We give thanks.
Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Gathered here in those far away, for the time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. For our gathered here in those far away, for the time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for this precious day, for this precious day.
I would like to invite our actors to come up on the chancel for chapter 1 of our story. We have here Grandpa and Babushka and Patricia, who is the narrator as a child, although she may be taller than the narrator, in fact, at this moment. That's okay. And Richard and Mama. All right. At our farm just outside Union City, Michigan, we didn't celebrate the same holidays as most of our neighbors, but we shared their delight and anticipation of them just the same.
Such cold the winter brings.
my babushka said as she looked out our front window.
My bones, it makes to ache.
She wasn't fooling me. I knew how much she loved the snow. It reminded her of her homeland in Ukraine.
Mamele, again you complain, but still you watch the snow with such light in your eyes. Mwah!
Grandpa said, and he threw her a kiss. My grandfather was from Soviet Georgia, way to the south of Russia. He and babushka spoke Russian and had wonderful accents. They kept their homelands in their hearts, even though they would never be permitted to return. Just then, Mama rolled into the long driveway.
Mama's home! Mama's home!
My brother Richard called as we watched her get out of the car. Mama drove way over to Battle Creek every day to teach school. But now she would be off for 2 weeks because of the holiday season. I loved having her home for winter vacation. This year, we would have a week together to prepare, and then 8 days of Hanukkah festivities. Our actors will take their seats again, and Rabbi Gila will tell us the story of just what Hanukkah is. The story first, and then.
So why 8 days? Well, let me tell you the story of Hanukkah. The holiday comes from a long time ago when the Jews in the land of Israel were under the control of the Seleucid Empire. A new emperor came to power, and he decided that all Jewish prayers and rituals should be outlawed. No Jews should be allowed to practice Judaism. In a small town in the land of Israel, there lived a family, the father, Mattathias, and the mother, and 5 sons. Eliezer, eldest one, Simon, John, and Jonathan, and Judah Maccabee, and Judah Maccabee. Want to try it? Eliezer, eldest one, Simon, John, and Jonathan, and Judah Maccabee, and Judah Maccabee. Beautiful. So the family heard about these new decrees, and they said, "No, we will not give up the Sabbath. No, will we worship foreign gods? No. Will we stop reading the Torah? No." Now, one day, the emperor's soldiers came to their little town of Modi'in, and they insisted that the Jews sacrifice a pig. Are they going to sacrifice a pig to the emperor? No. Judah Maccabee, the youngest son, raised his arm and cried out, "Mi ladonai Eli, whoever is for God, come with me." And he and his brothers and a band of other Jews fled to the hills where they hid out in caves. From there, the Maccabees, with Judah as their leader, fought the emperor's army. Though the Jews were few in number, they were mighty in spirit. At last, they won a huge victory over the king's army and the elephants that the king's army brought. But when they all came back to Jerusalem, they found the temple a mess. There were all kinds of idols and statues set up there. There was all kinds of broken things that they couldn't be fixed. They set about cleaning and sweeping out the mess and rebuilding the things that had been broken. It was a big job. On the morning of the 25th day of the month of Kislev, they came to rededicate the temple. That's what Hanukkah means, dedication. But when they walked into the temple, they found only enough pure oil to light the menorah for one day. Miraculously, The oil landed lasting for 8 days, which is how long it took to get new oil. Since then, we celebrate Hanukkah on the same day, the 25th of Kislev, which starts tonight, and we light candles one more each day for 8 days. We eat pancakes and donuts that are fried in oil. It is the cholesterol holiday for Jews. And we spin the dreidel, whose letters remind us, Nes Gadol Haya Sham, a great miracle happened there. And you know what? Miracles can keep happening in our own day whenever we bring light into the darkness and stand up for freedom. So we're going to sing a song about 8 candles, ocho candelicas. The song is in Ladino, which is a Spanish Jewish language. And I'm going to teach you the chorus first. So I think you can follow most of it. Una candelica, dos candelicas, tres candelicas, cuatro candelicas, cinco candelicas, seis candelicas, siete candelicas, beat. Ocho candelas para mí. Now there's one other really important part. It goes like this. Oh, try that. Oh, beautiful. All right, and now the verses are, Hanukkah linda está aquí, beautiful Hanukkah is here. Ocho candelas para mí, 8 candles for me up here. And then the second verse is, muchas fiestas vou fazer con alegría y placer. Lots of parties to make with fun and pleasure to have. And then los pastelicos vou comer con almendricas y la miel. Pastries to eat with almonds and honey so sweet. Here we go.
Hanukkah linda está aquí. Ocho candelas para mí. Hanukkah linda está aquí. Ocho candelas para mí. Una candelica, dos candelicas, tres candelicas, cuatro candelicas, cinco candelicas, seis candelicas, siete candelicas, ocho candelas para mí. Muchas fiestas vou fazer con alegría y placer. Muchas fiestas vou fazer con alegría y placer. Una candelica, dos candelicas, tres candelicas, cuatro candelicas, cinco candelicas, seis candelicas, siete candelicas, ocho candelas para mí. Los pastelicas vou comer con almendricas y la miel. Los pastelicas vou comer con almendricas y la miel. Last time. Oh, bravo. Una candelica, dos candelicas, tres candelicas, cuatro candelicas, cinco candelicas, seis candelicas, siete candelicas, ocho candelas para mí.
Let's go to chapter 2 of our story now that we know how Hanukkah began and all of the parties that the family may be preparing. The next day, Mama took out her old tarnished menorah and asked me to polish it. While I rubbed it clean, I watched my grandmother make the candles that we would put in it. She hummed as she dipped, never seeming to tire of the long process. Grandpa prepared for our Festival of Lights as well. He carved small toys out of wood. Richard and I weren't supposed to know that he was making them for us. But he did every year, and that afternoon, when he went to town, so Grandpa will move back into town, and Patricia will move forward. There we go, perfect. When he went to town, we couldn't help sneaking into his workroom to take a peek.
Look, a dancing goat.
I like this one,
I said, cradling a little dog in my palm. Grandpa had painted the animals with colors from his homeland. We marveled at how magical they all were.
Do you think he made enough for all 8 days of Hanukkah?
You know he has.
I took one lasting look, knowing that soon Grandpa would wrap them up in colored paper. My mother called for me, and I thought she had caught us spying. But she only wanted me to go over to the Kremls for some cornmeal. The Kremls, our nearest neighbors, lived half a mile down the road. They were farmers like us, and at harvest time, Mr. Kreml always helped Grandpa. All the neighbors helped each other that way.
Friendship means something,
Grandpa always said.
especially for those who till the soil.
I practically lived at the Kreml's house because Sherry Kreml was my very best friend. We especially loved the holiday season when I'd watch her family decorate their Christmas tree and she'd watch my family light our menorah. I knew as we were bustling in anticipation of the Festival of Lights at our house, the Kremls would be preparing for the arrival of Christmas at theirs. Thank you to our actors. We have a little Christmas music from William and from Thea, I believe, and then Rev CTC will tell us the Christmas story. Are you ready? Well, Rev CTC, do you think that you could tell us the story of Christmas?
The best part.
I wonder if you might
the
need
best part.
help with it.
Oh, I
Maybe.
might need help.
You might need help.
I have
I don't know.
heard I have friends that are going to help me with this morning. So let's see, where are my angels? Could you all come right up to the front step there? Oh. Excellent, excellent, excellent. And we need to do one very large sigh of joy before we move on because the angels are amazing. Ah.
Here, yeah, right here, maybe.
Thank you, angels. As we get closer to Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, come on up, you stay right there. It's the perfect time to tell the story of the birth of Jesus. First, a little bit of background. There was a young woman named Mary who lived in a town called Nazareth. She was engaged to a man named Joseph. Do I have a Mary? Oh, there she is. Please come on over, Mary. Right here in the front, please. And I believe I have a Joseph too. Joseph? Oh, coming. And a penguin. Joseph has a penguin friend. Very nice, Joseph. Just right here on the end, please. So we have our angels, and we have Mary, and we have Joseph. One night, God sent an angel named Gabriel to visit Mary. The angel told Mary, God is very pleased with you. You will soon be blessed with a baby boy. This will be God's own son. And the angel asked Mary to name the baby Jesus. Mary was a little bit afraid, but she believed and thought everything would work out just fine. The angel also told Mary that she might want to go and live with her cousin Elizabeth and that cousin's husband Zachariah. They were about to become parents of a child that would help pave the way for Jesus. So, Joseph, could you please go by Mary and express concern? This is good. Joseph was worried about Mary giving birth, but an angel appeared to Joseph in his dreams, and that angel, could we have one angel a little closer to Joseph? Yes, good. That angel said to Joseph, need not worry. You and Mary will be fine. The angel also told Joseph that he needed to make Mary his legal wife, and they should get married right away before the baby was born. When Joseph woke up the next morning, he was settled. His heart was calm, his mind was clear, and they prepared for their journey to Nazareth, Bethlehem, a long way from Nazareth. Mary and Joseph left Nazareth and went to Bethlehem. So you all need to travel up and down in front of the chancel because you're on a journey. Yes, travel. They traveled. You can go down on the floor so you don't fall. And just back and forth the traveling. It's a long way to Bethlehem, guys. Yes, you can take the angel with you. That's lovely, yes. Thank you, Gabriel. It was a long, slow trip. They traveled and traveled. And it was hard for Mary because the baby was about to be born. Finally, they arrived in Bethlehem, and we are arriving in Bethlehem. But they couldn't find a place to stay. And I need your help here. You all know why they couldn't find a place to stay, right? There was no room at the inn. Let's say that together one more time with feeling. There was no room at the inn. They found instead a generous innkeeper who let them stay in his barn. In that barn, helpers get ready, there were several animals. I believe I have animals here who can come to the front next to Mary and Joseph. I see a donkey. I see a camel. A rabbit? What do we have here, Amanda?
A rat?
A rat? It was a barn. There could be a rat.
A donkey, obviously.
A donkey.
Obviously
a donkey.
Right around, right around the
a
manger.
Bunny? I think we have one more.
We have, I think, 2 sheep.
2 sheep.
Two
Sheep. So, and if the animals could just come right around the manger. Oh, that's good. Right over there. They made it into the barn just in time for the baby to be born. Mary, are you with me? Yes. Mary? Oh, there she is. Could you please go near the manger? Just in time for the baby to be born and to be placed in the manger. And there, amongst the animals, the baby Jesus was at home. Soon an angel appeared above the barn and said, "Glory to God in the highest, and peace to all on earth." While the angel was there in the sky, there also appeared another star. There were three wise men in the field. Wise men? Our troop is growing. Oh, I see one wise man. You saw the star. Come forward. Another wise man? Maybe one is doing all the wiseness. Extra. We have a very wise man here who saw the star while he was out in the fields. That new bright star appeared in the sky. The wise men saw it, and he knew that Jesus' birth was the arrival of a great king. He rushed to the barn, rushing to find the babe and Mary and Joseph in the barn. Soon, the happy family took a gift from the wise men. I believe there's a gift. Possibly wise men? Moving forward.
Oh, the angel has a gift.
Oh, the angel has the gift. Because, here comes the gift.
Oh.
Yes. The wise men brought gifts to Mary and Joseph to give to the baby. Please share your gift. Nicely done. And if you could just put the gift right there in the manger with the baby. Oh, thank you, Mary. The gifts were shared. The family was happy. The star was shining brightly in the sky. And all was well. This is a story that you all have heard over and over. Simply put, the Savior was born, the angels sang, and a family was made. Could I have my actors please take a bow? Yes?
Oh, shepherds!
Oh.
Shepherds, wait!
Rewind. I believe I have other actors I have forgotten. There are shepherds. And shepherds. The story is not complete without the shepherds and the wise men. The family was made, the baby was born, and the angels looked over it all. Thank you all very much. And now a bow. Lovely, lovely. Awesome. And could you all go back to your seats, please? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. Watch your cape. Great. Oh, should we put the baby away? We should put her on the ramp.
Well, can we put the baby
Right here?
Right here? Is that all right?
Okay.
No, we can't lock the ramp, just in case.
Just in case.
There we go.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
And now more music, right?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. From the band.
Over
2:45, Joy to the World.
Joy to
We will
the
be
World.
singing all three verses, and there's a brief interlude, and it's going to be wonderful between verses 2 and 3.
Yes, that was perfect. What hymn number?
I don't know. What number? I have no idea.
Lord is come, let earth receive his reign.
to our story. Up on the chancel with our actors, and as you will no doubt recall, Patricia is going to visit her friend Cherry. So there's Patricia and Cherry. There we go. Patricia, come right on up. But when I got there, I found everybody quite sick. Even Cherry, who was usually
full of spilkes,
as my babushka said, seemed quiet and weak. She was crying.
I hope Santa will remember where we live.
Well, why wouldn't he?
Because we haven't put up a tree yet or even decorated it. Papa's too sick to get out of bed and go chop one down.
Then she coughed an awful cough. I ran home and burst into our house with the news about Cherry and her family. Mama seemed very worried.
Did you go inside their house, Tricia?
She asked me.
Sure.
Uh-oh.
They all looked at one another.
when your grandfather was in town today, Dr. Leach told him that many families around here have come down with scarlet fever.
The criminals must have it, and I sent you there.
Am I gonna get it, Mama?
It's very contagious. We'll know in a few days.
For the next few days, my family watched me carefully. As the days passed, it was clear I was not going to get sick, but more and more reports came to us of neighbors falling ill. The Everests, the Govlocks, the Tundervalds, and the Moleskis. It was an epidemic. We were all worried about our friends, but Babushka was determined our Festival of Lights would go on as planned. On the afternoon before Hanukkah, she bustled around her kitchen.
Such latkes I'll make this year,
she exclaimed while digging for the choicest potatoes in the bin. She hummed happily as she placed potatoes in front of me, and I shredded them with care. They had to be just right for my babushka's latkes. Mama and Babushka prepared 2 chickens for roasting and put them in the oven. Just as the aroma of the wonderful feast met our nostrils, the sun set, and it was time to light the menorah. Grandpa recited the blessings and lit the shamas, the candle used to light all the others. Babushka put the first candle in the menorah and lit it with the shamas. Then Mama told the story, as she did every year, of our people long ago.
Tonight, we are celebrating miracles. The miracle that a very small band of Jewish farmers turned soldiers could defeat a huge Syrian army.
Were they really farmers before they were soldiers?
Simple farmers just like us.
They were fighting so that they could worship in their own way.
There was the miracle of the light. One little tiny drop of oil burned in the temple for 8 days.
such a miracle.
Miracles can happen even today.
I invite you to rise now and stay on the chancel, right? In body or in spirit, to sing with Rabbi Gila and Jim and our band. Is it number 206? It's not, it's number 223, Rock of Ages. Jim and Rabbi Gila will sing our first verse, and then we will join them. After dinner, Grandpa handed us the first of our beautifully wrapped presents. He looked troubled, though.
You know, our neighbors are having such a hard time, and this should be a time of gladness for them. If only we could do something to make their holiday special.
You know, they always bring a tree into their house. Only in America does a tree grow right out of a living room floor.
Mamala, we should cut down trees and take them into their houses. I'll cut them tonight. You can help, children.
And we can cook some more chickens and bring them food.
And we can decorate the trees.
Oi, decorate the trees. This is not our custom. We have nothing to decorate trees with.
But what about the carvings? What do you think? They have no way of making their children happy this year.
At first, I was a little disappointed, but then as I thought about it, I knew it was the right thing to do. Our neighbors needed cheering, and we were just about the only ones who didn't have the fever. Grandpa and Richard and I brought the cut trees into our living room. They were very small trees. Grandpa had only taken the tops off of our evergreens, but they were beautiful, and when they were all standing in the living room, it looked like a forest.
Just like the woods outside of Kyiv when I was a little girl.
Richard and I started hanging some of our wooden animals on the branches of the tree.
A dancing goat. We shall call these the trees of the dancing goats.
We made sure to hang a dancing goat on each and every tree. As we decorated the trees, we sang and laughed. The single candle in the menorah flickered as we rushed past it to reach another carved animal or to paste together paper chains to hang on the trees. We worked into the night. While we finished decorating, Babushka and Mama roasted more chickens and fried more potato latkes. They packed the food, and in each one, Babushka put one of her homemade Hanukkah candles.
So they will have the light of God in their hearts, and so God will protect them and make them well again.
We loaded Grandpa's old truck with the trees and the food baskets and sent Babushka and Grandpa into the early light of dawn with their Christmas cheer.
Just like Santa.
Mr. and Mrs. Santa.
We waited eagerly for their return later that morning. We thrilled when Babushka and Grandpa told of how they entered the home of each neighbor, set up a tree in the living room, put the little basket of food on the table, and put a candle in a holder for them to light later. Mama was worried they had been exposed to the fever, but Babushka said,
In so much worse I've been, you shouldn't know. God will protect. God will protect. I know this.
As our actors take their seat before our final chapter of the story, I invite Greg to share our invitation to the offering.
So just like in our story where the family gathered to share what they could give, they gave of their time and their talent and their treasure with neighbors who are having a hard time, UUCA is also a community that gives. We transfer our resources to move us toward justice in the world, giving our own time, our talent, and our treasure. And in the month of December, our Share the Plate recipient is AFAC, AFAC, the Arlington Food Assistance Center. AFAC is Arlington's primary food support provider to low-income individuals and families. Through centers around the country, AFAC provides food staples and protein products to those in need. Volunteers from UUCA help distribute and transfer food to AFAC clients on a bi-monthly basis, typically serving anywhere from 100 to 200 Arlington families. They also assist with other activities, including food drives, sorting donations, and direct distribution. Know that today's offering will be divided. 70% will be given directly to AFAC, and 30% will continue supporting our work here at UUCA. We want to make it simple for you to give. You can easily offer help by using one of the methods listed on our website, uucava.org, or the methods listed in your order of service today. If you choose to write a check, please write "Share the Plate" in the memo line, and we also welcome cash and coin. Please give generously as possible this season. AFAC will work to meet the needs of our community. And if the ushers would take the offering.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. There may be no place to go. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Doesn't show signs of stopping, and I brought some corn for popping. Didn't you know, lay down low. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. When we finally say goodnight, how I hate going out in the storm. But if you really hold me tight, all the way home I'll be warm. The fire is slowly dying, and my dear, we're still goodbye. You love me so. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. When we finally say goodnight, how I hate going out in the storm. But if you really hold me tight, all the way home I'll be warm. Oh, the fire is slowly dying, and my dear, we're still goodbying. As long as you love me so. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Yes, quickly.
So our ushers are just closing up, collecting the blessing. I just want to express some gratitude and appreciation. If you cannot see it, we have a dancing angel up front, and it has been wonderful to watch. I have recently learned to try and do the two-step, so watching those feet, very, very good. It's got it going. If the ushers would bring forward the collection. And thank you for giving generously this season. You might also know that we have a relatively newly christened food pantry outside down the walk, and so we encourage you to contribute or take from the pantry as needed. We bless and receive these gifts, opening our hearts to true generosity. And please join me. Let us be grateful when we give, be it time, talent, or treasure. Let us be grateful for our needs and the experience of vulnerability. Let us be grateful for those who share their gifts to nurture this congregation.
I invite all of our actors to come up on the chancel for our final chapter. Just as we share with our neighbors here at UUCA, Patricia's family had shared with their neighbors. And here we are a week later. The 8 days of Hanukkah had come and gone, and we sat down to have our last feast. There was a knock at the door.
Now, who could that be?
Babushka said as she scurried to the door with her usual warm smile. It was the Kremls, Cherry and her father. They looked pale, but assured us they were quite well now.
We have something for you.
Cherry announced as she bolted through the door, holding a basket. Her father had tears in his eyes as they all hugged my grandparents and my mother.
Look what my dad made for you.
She pulled out a menorah that Mr. Kreml had carved out of wood. On it, he had mounted some of the animals we had given them.
Oh, how beautiful.
Come sit. You are so welcome. Thank you, thank you.
No, sir. Thank you, George.
Mr. Kreml said, looking into Grandpa's eyes. Our neighbors all recovered from that terrible fever. Few were left with any permanent damage. What they were left with was a long cherished memory of
that Christmas when Santa and Mrs. Santa came to our home.
And my family, too, has never forgotten the incredible winter of the fever, the miracle of true friendship, and the trees of the dancing goats.
Let us show our appreciation to our chancel actors. As we rehearsed for this pageant, we talked about coming up on the chancel, and Ed and Reina shared that when Kolami is in this sanctuary, this is the Bima. And so I just share such gratitude for the way that we are many things here at UUCA and the way our friendship can go for many decades now, Rabbi Gila. And I'm so grateful to have Kolami celebrating with us today. Thank you. And we are not quite done with the miracles that we make here in this world. I would like to invite Cyrus and his parents, who have been waiting patiently and squirming only a little. That was Cyrus, I imagine, maybe his parents, to come forward for a baby dedication as we finish our service.
Can you light that?
On up. One last little angel.
Nice. Dear ones, our community is constantly growing and changing. Today, we are joyfully acknowledging one of the newest members of our tribe, Cyrus Thomas Rubel. We also want to open our hearts and rededicate ourselves to helping this child and their people as they travel into the new territory of building and shaping family. Shaping family is our shared responsibility. As humans, we hold a particular piece of the universe, children. We have a direct hand in caring for them. We must give them our love, our respect, our dedication, and our compassion.
It's not a baptism or meant to usher this child or his family into a certain belief system. We are not saving them with our actions today, but welcoming them on the path to becoming more human and more humane, and freely committing ourselves to support them as Cyrus discovers his own way.
Go ahead.
Are you ready?
Greg.
They're already up here, though.
Yeah, you could ask him again, though. What do you think?
Will the parents and child please come forward to the chancel?
Done.
Rose and Goose, are you ready to dedicate yourself to loving and supporting your son, Cyrus, as they move through our world? If so, say we are.
We are. Do you promise to care for Cyrus, to love Cyrus with all your heart and spirit? If so, say we will.
We will.
Will you extend to Cyrus unmeasurable kindness and courage? And will you encourage him to live out his dreams? If so, say we will.
One more. Will you show him how to love justice and live with compassion?
We will.
Your special relationship as parents call you to embrace the privilege and responsibility of nurturing, defending, and supporting Cyrus, his freedom, spirit, and his growth. If you willingly agree to honor this relationship, please repeat these words after me. I pledge to set a good example for Cyrus. And do everything I can to walk by his side. And help him on the journey of life. I will steady him when he stumbles. And catch him when he falls. Today, I promise to be present when Cyrus needs me.
Today, I promise to be present when Cyrus needs me.
And I need a little bit of help for this part. So Amanda, I'm going to offer you the flame. And Greg, please take the earth. And you're going to step over there a little bit. So this is the actual blessing. Cyrus Thomas Rulel, you belong to the sky, to the seas, to the land, and we are connected to you and to each other. These natural elements that surround us hold us in community. Earth. We rub this earth, a little bit in his hand, into your hand, and dedicate you to a life of hard work, reminding you and your caregivers that it's good to get your hands dirty, doing the work of the world. And flame. We brush you gently with flame and remind you that the world is warm, vivid, and beautiful. And lastly, water. May this water cleanse and cool your spirit when you're troubled. May it lessen your thirst for love. There you go. When your heart is parched and when you're weary, may it give you sustenance. And together, we're going to blow on Cyrus if he'll let us. We gently move the air about you, dedicating you to a life filled with silky breezes and gentle winds, reminding all of us that we can and should offer support to each other when life becomes stormy.
And as Rev CTC said earlier, we will now promise and rededicate to support Cyrus and his family. And you don't need a script. Just please repeat these words after me if you agree to support Cyrus and his family. We give thanks for this child.
We give thanks for this child.
We know that each new child brings hope and new beginnings to our community.
We know that each new child brings hope and new beginnings to our community.
Knowing that challenges and joys lie ahead,
Knowing that challenges and joys lie ahead,
we promise to stand with this child and their family,
we promise to stand with this child and their family,
offering them hope, courage, and love.
offering them hope, courage, and love. Cyrus, we have a rose for you. Do you want to take it? What do you think?
Maybe.
That your life may unfold in beauty like the rose. May the truth that sets us free, and the hope that never dies, and the love that casts out fear be with us now and with Cyrus always, until the day spring breaks and the shadows flee away. Amen.
Amen.
Blessed be. Amen. We could cheer for Cyrus and his parents.
Thanks, guys.
And now I invite you to rise in body or in spirit and sing a lullaby to Cyrus and to the child in all of us. We'll sing just verse 1 of hymn 409.
Sleep, my child, and peace attend you all through the night. I who love you shall be near you all through the night. Softly drowsy as a creeping hill and vale in slumber sleeping, I my loving vigil keeping all through the night.
We light candles as we sing songs. May we be surrounded by dancing angels. And may we find that the greatest dance is that in our hearts. May it be so. Amen.
Over the ground lies a mantle of white, a haven of diamonds shine down through the night. Two hearts are thrilling in spite of the chill in the weather. Love knows no season, love knows no clime. Romance can blossom any old time. Here in the open, we're walking hoping together. The sleigh bells ring, how you're listening. In the snow is glistening. The beautiful sight, we're happy tonight. Walking in a winter wonderland. Gone away is the bluebird. Here to stay is the new bird. He sings a love song as we go along, walking in a winter wonderland. In the meadow we can build a snowman and pretend that he is Parson Brown. We'll say, are you married? He'll say, no, ma'am. But you can do the job when you're in town. Later on, I'll conspire as we dream by the fire to face unafraid the plans that we made, walking in a winter wonderland. Sleigh bells ring, are you listening? In the lane, snow is glistening. Beautiful sight, we're happy tonight, walking in a winter wonderland. Gone away is the bluebird, here to stay is a new bird. He sings a little song as we go along, walking in a winter wonderland. We can build a snowman and pretend that he's a circus clown. We'll have lots of fun with Mr. Snowman until the other kiddies knock him down. When it snows, ain't it thrilling? Though your nose gets a chillin', we'll frolic and play the livelong day, walking in a winter wonderland. I said, walking in a winter wonderland.